Welcome to the third video in Module 2. In this module, we're describing the forms required for family medical leave that are supplied by the Department of Labor. These forms are all located on the Department of Labor website. The address for that website is www.dol.gov. This form, the Notice of Eligibility and Rights and Responsibilities, is a form that a supervisor can use and give to an employee when he or she is taking family medical leave. It's a very involved form, so let's walk through it. As you can see, the first part is Notice of Eligibility. So the supervisor is letting the employee know in this section whether or not he or she is eligible for family medical leave. If you're not sure if the employee is eligible, please call Human Resources and we'll help you determine the employee's eligibility. Of course, the first part is very straightforward. It's to, and you name the employee. From, you name yourself, the supervisor, and the date that you're completing the form. Then it says on blank, you informed us that you needed leave beginning on blank for. So you can indicate the dates there in the blanks and then check off whichever situation applies, whatever reason the employee indicated is needed for the leave. Then it states this notice is to inform you that you are eligible for family medical leave or are not eligible for family medical leave. If an employee is not eligible for family medical leave, it is probably for one of the first two reasons listed here. You have not met the 12-month service requirement, or you have not met the 1,250 hours service requirement. The third option listed really doesn't apply to the Archdiocese of Baltimore because all of our employers, regardless of size or location, are considered covered employees under the Family Medical Leave Act. So we would indicate 1 or 2 being the reason for ineligibility. It says here if you have any question, contact blank or view the FMLA poster located in. It's perfectly fine to list a representative from Human Resources in the contact section. You can certainly list Molly Fern, myself, or Regina McCurdy. And of course you can list wherever your labor law poster is located because that will have the family medical leave information in it. So if you have a poster hanging in the staff lounge, you certainly could indicate that too, for example. The next section, Part B, talks about the rights and responsibilities for taking family medical leave. We've advised you to use the other forms, WH-380E, when an employee is taking a leave for his or her own serious health condition, and Form WH-380F when an employee is taking a leave for a family member. If you haven't already given those forms to an employee, in this section you can indicate that you're enclosing them with this form. And you also can indicate the 15-day deadline date for when that certification form is due back to you. It also states here that you may be asked to provide documentation to establish a familial relationship or to prove military service. The next page gives information about benefits and pay. It states here, contact blank at blank to make arrangements to continue to make your share of the premium payments on your health insurance. Certainly, we want health benefits to be maintained when our employees are on family medical leave. They certainly need those benefits, especially at that time. If an employee is on family medical leave and has sick leave in the bank, then that employee is receiving sick pay, and certainly health insurance premium payments are deducted like they would be from any other paycheck. But if an employee runs out of sick leave and is then on short-term disability, that employee will need to send in payments to maintain his or her health benefits. At this point, you may not know the length of the leave that the employee is asking for, so you may want to just leave this blank. If you anticipate that the employee does not have much sick leave and will need to be on short-term disability, you may want to list the bookkeeper on this section so that the employee will know who to contact to send in money to keep the health benefits intact. It also states here you will be required to use available paid, and we're going to check off sick leave. Sick leave and family medical leave will run concurrently. We do require that employees use their sick leave while on FML. Then it has a section here where it talks about key employees. A key employee is an employee who is so vital to the organization that taking a leave could be problematic. So the employee may not qualify under the Family Medical Leave Act in all instances. You probably aren't going to have this situation come up with your employees. Normally a key employee is a top executive, CEO, somebody who's normally, if they leave, it really causes a substantial problem for the operation. It also states here at the last section, while you're on leave, you'll be required to furnish us with periodic reports. You may not require that from the employee. It really depends on the situation. If an employee has an intermittent leave situation, you might want to have periodic reports so that you have an idea of how much of the leave in the 12-week period is going to be used up, for example. But that's not always going to apply. It then states in bold, if the circumstances of your leave change and you're available to return to work earlier than expected, you'll want to notify your employer at least 2 work days prior to the date you intend to report to work. It does talk about the fact that you have certain rights under family medical leave and that the 12 weeks of unpaid leave need to be calculated in a certain fashion. The calculation we use is the 4th one, a rolling 12-month period measured backward from the date of any FMLA usage. So you would check off that option. It then talks about the fact that if you're taking FMLA for up to 26 weeks, that certainly that calculation may be done differently also. But we also, in that instance, would use a rolling 12-month period. It then talks about the employee's rights. The employee's health benefits must be maintained during any period of FMLA. So when an employee is on family medical leave, the health benefits must not be canceled. An employee also must be returned to his or her job after being on family medical leave, or an equivalent job, meaning a job with the same pay, benefits, terms, and conditions of employment. In other words, we cannot discriminate in any way because an employee is taken family medical leave. It then states again that we do have the option to require you to take accrued paid leave. And again, we could state that we're requiring employees to take sick leave while on FML. It then asks here if you want to indicate a copy of conditions applicable to sick, vacation, or other leave to please refer to. We are a decentralized organization, so we normally require supervisors to communicate policies to their own staff members. So if you have something in writing from your own parish or school about your vacation policies, sick policies, etc., you certainly can provide that to the employee. If not, I would just indicate to the employee how much sick leave he or she has, indicate to him or her that they're accruing it at such and such a rate, and that they're at this point in time they have this much, and that that's what will be used for pay while they're on family medical leave. I hope that this form is helpful for you. It definitely covers all the bases for alerting an employee of his or her rights and responsibilities under the Family Medical Leave Act. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.